talking Auburn football in March. If the pollen is any indication, spring is definitely in the air. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, talking to Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. Now, last year for the Auburn Tigers, for the first time in a long time, the Auburn Tigers did not have a 1,000-yard rusher. Now, all history indicates that if all the elements involve Gus Malzahn calling plays, he has multiple options at running back. He also will have a definite dual threat quarterback. He will have a 1,000-yard rusher this year, because in Gus Malzahn's history, a lot of those years, he had 2,000-yard rushers, the quarterback and the running back. All right, so I think this is going to be an excellent opportunity to get the run game back going for the Auburn Tigers and get the run-pass option under the Gus Malzahn era back on track. And he's not lacking options. You know, got Cam Martin, Boobie Whitlow, Shaun Shivers will be back. He's currently participating in track for the Auburn Tigers at the moment. The recruitment of Mark Anthony Richards, and even Harold Joyner could be a possibility to be factored into the mix with running back. Auburn this year probably is going to have, just looking at it from a skill position standpoint, we won't really know until this fall the total standing of the skill position, because Shaun Shivers and Anthony Schwartz will not be participating in spring practice because, of course, they are participating in track. They made a commitment to the Auburn track team, just as they made a commitment to the Auburn football team. And when we look at the quarterback position for the Auburn Tigers going into the second week of spring, Auburn, Gus Malzahn will want to begin to separate the quarterback race, to go ahead and get that information to where he can go ahead and separate the quarterback race so he can start to solidify game planning for the Advocare Classic, in which Auburn will face Oregon the first week of the season. The Oregon Ducks already favored to win the Pac-12. They're not favored to go to the college football playoffs, but they are definitely favored to win the Pac-12, which I think is a very, 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 very loose prediction, because I think the Pac-12 is going to be kind of strong this year. I don't think it's going to just be a runaway for the Oregon Ducks. But back to the Auburn Tigers. Last week, Gus Malzahn sang the praises of Joey Gatewood. Of course, Bo Nix had a pretty good showing last week, and Malik Willis as well, the backup quarterback from last year. Gus Malzahn is going to want to start to get that separation, and he's going to, move towards live practices that could come pretty soon. And that way he could go ahead and solidify who is going to be, three deep on the quarterback depth chart. I'm looking at right now, if I was to say, just based on all information given, I would go ahead and say that Joey Gatewood would be the starter, Malik Willis as the backup, and Bo Nix as the third string, with the possibility, given how the season goes, with the prospect of redshirting this year. Joey Gatewood has definitely shown growth according to the coaches. He's definitely a lot more mature, and that's something that they definitely wanted to see in Joey Gatewood, because he was a highly recruited, almost a 5-star quarterback, coming out of Bartram Trail out of Jacksonville, Florida, and he was highly recruited. He has a lot of skills and ability, and he really does exemplify best case scenario if he can emerge some stability at the quarterback position going into a very brutal schedule this year. Now, one guy that I really thought about, a lot of you guys might have forgot about, is Matthew Hill. Very fast receiver. He didn't play last year. He was redshirted, actually, and he could even be one of the guys that emerges this year in a very, very deep skill position set for the Auburn Tigers. You think about guys like Sal Cannella, who could actually be kind of like C.J. Uzomah when he was here. Sal Cannella is a huge weapon for the Auburn Tigers, and he's getting a lot of praise during spring practice as well. So when we look at this, we look at some other positions. Now, it was thought that Harold Joyner would be the H-back. But it turns out that the coaches are seeing a different skill set in him. They're seeing more of a slot receiver and, still a running back, kind of like how Kerryon Johnson was. So we got to look out for that as well. So Auburn is in great shape going into week 2 of the spring practice. And, there's not much being said about the defense, but we want to see in the next couple of days where the defense emerges. Who's going to, kind of play that linebacker position? Who's going to emerge? What positions are going to be taken on the defensive line? The good news is they have plenty of options, with Derek Brown returning, have plenty of options depth-wise and can make a lot of different decisions and really don't have to rush that thing just yet. So another thing that was another recap from last week, of course, we knew Kenny Dillingham would come into this season with a lot of energy. I'm pretty sure he's very excited to get going. He's very youthful, and he brings that youthful-like energy to the table. It's yet to be seen how that can be translated as a high-level SEC offensive coordinator. So really some great things coming out of spring practice for the Auburn Tigers. We'll look for some more news within the next coming days. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, War Eagle.